Damn. I don't know what it is, but everybody I try to hit up, I'm like, yo, I need to do a video for some content or get some testimonials. They're like, yeah. Whenever I can get a time, And then all the drivers, everybody just keeps blowing it off. So I'm glad to get you on the phone, man. And I was taking a little bit of a delay. I had some guys cutting the grass out back. It was making a bunch of noise. But anyway, man, how's your day going, man?
It's going good. It's going pretty good. Everything's going good.
Sweet. So basically, let's just get into it, man. I'm just looking, to get some video, man, and kind of make some content, use this for guys that are, we're recruiting them on, that kind of thing. But I guess introduce yourself for everybody that's not, that be watching. They don't know who you are. You've been with us for quite some time now. And, you're running trucks, dispatching trucks. You're a fleet owner. You don't even have a CDL, right? You don't drive. You haven't driven. You got it. I was making a video today, actually, about getting into the industry and a million ways to get in without even driving a truck or, owning a trucking company, basically. So, kind of just give, where you're at and how you came about finding us and stuff like that. A quick little spiel.
So my name's Chandler. I've been with you about a year now. My main job is in household transportation. So that's when I figured out there's a lot of money in just freight all over.
Right.
So I got my equipment, I got a driver, and the first company that I initially leased on before you promised me the world, told me, don't worry about payments, we'll take care of everything. And they did a lot of shady things. They had high insurance. It took a week, 10 days to get paid. I hated it. It was terrible. They made
10 days. I didn't know. I mean, we have talked, but I didn't know that's 10 days. Holy crap, man. That's crazy.
And it was terrible. So that's why once I found you, and you kind of guided me on what I need to do, what lanes I need. You introduced me to the next day pay, which has transformed my my fleet, because I don't have to use my fuel cards as much. I have money in my account. Like today's Thursday, and I've already got paid for Monday and Tuesday in my bank, ready,
Yeah. A lot of people like that. I mean, almost everybody, I think that's the biggest reason why they lease on with us. Is they're like, what? Paid next day after the loader. That's like, you're kidding. There's no way. How do you do that? And it really isn't even that big of a deal, honestly. I mean, we factor the load, and, we try to make it so that you have cash flow in the business. I know when I was driving just myself, one truck, as an owner operator, when I started out, man, I had to have money. There's fuel, tires, breakdowns, insurance, equipment when you're building, you need to buy tarps, you need to buy things, you need money. So you almost need it as quick as you drop it off. You need money. You can't carry it out. Sometimes people don't realize that, this takes a lot of money to run this business. If you're going 10 days without getting paid, you might be putting out $5,000, 6, 8, who knows, $8,000 in insurance and truck payments, trailer payments, fuel. Maybe you have a breakdown, a couple of tires or whatever, or maybe who knows, a bad breakdown, So that kind of, that next day pay thing, I wanted to implement it, and everything that I do is to try to look at it from the driver's standpoint. What do they need? We needed, the best cost of insurance we can get, the best cost of insurance, the best, pay scale, and then just make money and good available freight, and people to keep us busy, and then safety and compliance is a big thing too,
Yeah, and that's I think you nailed it on the head. Those are the most important. You have super cheap insurance, helps me keep more money in my pocket. We have the next day pay, even more money in my pocket. So that's less I have to reach because I'm constantly getting paid and I can put back in. And then I have more access. I can be more flexible with the freight because I know I don't have to wait 10 days to get paid. I already got the money in my account, So tires blow, whatever, no big deal. Money's already in my account, ready. I don't have to scramble, max out my credit card, nothing like that, because it's continuously flowing, and that's what I like so much.
And that with the factory and next day pay, I'll never forget, man. I broke down one time, and when I first started, man, I was pissed broke when I started this stuff, right? I didn't know anything about this stuff, And I was out on the road. I was in Colorado, like 1,300 miles from home. the credit card was maxed out, bank account was maxed out, and the axle went out on my trailer, man. And it was going to be like, I don't know, for Dexter to come out and put an axle on my trailer, it was going to be like, and I needed 2 tires because the tires and the hub actually come off on the interstate down in a gully in a valley, gone. I couldn't even find it. So, and luckily no accident or anything, but I had to put like, $2,500 right then and there. Well, luckily I had just delivered a load. So, I mean, it sucked. And we were sitting there, basically with our shaft in our hand hanging out in the parking lot. Couldn't even get a motel room or anything, and I just waited to get paid that next day, man, and I was back in the game, And so I think that's been a huge thing in business. Is I know a lot of people don't even like factory companies, they hate them. Like, I screw a factory company, I'm not gonna pay them a percentage for, I can wait 30 days or 9, whatever. And in my opinion, it's not collected unless it's in the bank. You're not making money unless it's in the bank. You're working and constantly waiting next week, 10 days. You're always waiting for money. And it shouldn't be that way. Honestly, we provide a service, and when we're done with the service, we should get paid. And that's just the way I see it. So that small amount of money that we pay for factoring, and we pay out of our company percentage to give to the drivers or to our fleet owners, like yourself, it's the least we can do for our services. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's such a save. It saves you so much because when you're waiting, like I said, the 10 days, you're always behind. You get just enough to scrape you to the next week. But I got to wait another 10 days. Just enough, and it's not good. And with us and you and what you're doing, it not only can I keep my finances running, I can keep my fuel flowing, but it's allowed me to make more money. I can, do my numbers. I can match everything. All pre-planned. I know exactly how much I'm going to get paid, when I'm going to get paid, how much profit I have, and then I can start taking that money and then put it into the second truck, build that up,
Yeah.
And it just continually grows. And, I still have the cheap insurance. I'll still get paid the next day.
What do you think about, when we were talking, since the beginning, you've always been, kind of like me, like where can I make money in this, man? Another way that I can make money, just basically not reinventing things, but within what we already have, build on what we already have. So when I said, hey man, you can be a recruiter, you can go out and sell freight, on a brokerage side that we're partnered with, or you can, dispatch trucks, or there's so other, many ways to, or even, bringing more trucks on. There's so many ways to make money that I'm trying to partner with everybody like that. Within our fleet, and what do you think the advantages are of working with somebody that's not just one-dimensional, that says, oh no, just sign your truck on and then we'll handle everything from there? What are the advantages of that?
I think for me personally, not only one, I like to have the support that I know that you guys are supporting me. If I want to tap in and start brokering freight, I could do that. It's just the experience, the knowledge. I can learn and I can expand, learn the lanes, the dispatch. I start learning the routes, where everything is. And if anything, any issues or anything, I call you and you're right there, right away. Boom. So not only are you worried about my truck, but you're worried about me growing as a dispatcher, getting more efficient when we go, because we're going to tap into the brokerage. When we get that going, it's just we're going to continuously pay ourselves all through the company, all through
Right.
you. We'll continuously pay ourselves, and it's more money for everyone. It's just so much better. Me personally, it's just you've been the way that you've treated and handled me, my trucks, my drivers, top of the line. It's like, and with the recruiting, I tell everyone, you've been honest. Everything has been upfront. No hidden fees, no nothing, no waiting for loads, none of that.
Yeah. And that's what I try to relay to people, man, when they're coming on, is just, when you come on, be positive, but, communication is key. You can't run a company without communication, man. If you have an issue at 2 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night or 7 a.m., if you can't reach me or one of my team members, or, we don't have communication, or I can't reach you, and stuff happens. People break their phone, they have accidents, or whatever, things happen, but we have to do the best that we can to stay with that communication. That's how you run a company. That's how I run my business, and almost brutally honest to a point like that. If we can't have communication, it's not a good fit for you. If you can't, be willing to answer that phone at 2 a.m. when I need you to, and now obviously I'm not going to abuse that, but if I need to call you at 2 a.m. and say, hey, something screwed up, there's a crane appointment now at 8 a.m. we didn't know about, you can't miss it by even an hour, it's going to charge, $1,000 back on us or whatever, that communication is important. So, I think that's a big thing, and being, as cordial as possible, in business, there's, because, man, with trucking, I tell everybody, there's a lot of moving pieces. Shit happens. You're going to have trucks break down, trucks be late, traffic issues, guys oversleep. Guys, we just had a guy not that long ago, one of the guys at Even Dispatch, that he broke his phone and we couldn't hear from him all day. He got run over or whatever, or lose their phone or have medical problems and they're in the hospital. You don't even know what's going on. So things happen, but you just have to keep a level head and not let those things affect you. I did a video on emotion in business and not allowing your emotions to get into it and get irate and pissed off and cussing and acting stupid. And I know a lot of people in business do that, but I don't like to run my company like that. So you've been with us long enough to know now that, hey, we just do it, straight up, as professional as possible, and it works, and you've been here for a long time now and you've never had an issue getting paid. And I'm trying to get more of these testimonials just to kind of say, hey, the people that are with us or have been with us, that, we do a good job. We do it legal, moral, and ethical. And everybody over here is happy and they're making money, So.
And that's the bottom line. Very transparent, always available, always paid on time. That if it's not you directly, it's the back office is always there. They're immediately getting back to me. They're immediately taking care of the raycons, the paperwork. No guessing, any permits, the office will get them to me before I even tell them, hey, I'm going through Oregon, I need a permit, it's already done, boom, ready. And that's right. What I like, the transparency, the communication, and the efficiency. You can't beat it.
Yeah. And this is something that you do kind of semi full-time, part-time on the side. I mean, it's a full-time gig, but you do also have another full-time gig. And, that talk to people basically about how you're able to do this and be successful and make it not necessarily a side hustle because it's a full-time hustle, but you're able to transition into that side of things. And you didn't know anything when you got into it. It was just like, now that I asked, how did you ever even find out about Hotshot, or how did you want to get into it or buy trucks and be a fleet owner and all that kind of thing?
Well, I what I did, because my job, my household transportation, I do sales for it. So I see the numbers of people moving, Florida to California, New York down to Florida. So I did some research and I'm like, my company's making a lot of money and I'm one of 600 locations. So there must be a lot of money in freight. So I started researching freight in Florida, freight nationwide, and I realized that it's a $4 billion industry last year, and it's continuously going to go to almost $8 billion by 2024. Then I realized that household is less than 10% of transportation. So my thinking is, if I could just get a little piece of that pie, the $4 billion, then you're talking tons and tons of money. And then that's when I linked with you. You taught me basically how to dispatch, what I need to do, how to grow, what my bottom dollar needs to be. So I did the math, and now I know what my minimum needs to be, what my per day needs to be, so I'm constantly making money. My driver's constantly happy. And as you get better, you start calling, these brokers and shippers, and you see where they're sending stuff. So then I can just email them, hey, I'm going to be in this area before you go to the load board, or, hey, I see you're shipping stuff to Laredo. That's your personal yard. Let me catch a load out of Laredo, Texas.
Right.
Just my thing is, there's a ton of money to be made, and if you're with like something legit like Money Penny, it's easy for you to grow and expand, especially with the back office help. Then I can do my thing. I can book my loads. I can talk to my drivers. All the paperwork is done, Money Penny back office, which is a huge saver. Saver. Then I can work.
Yeah, a lot of people, they don't think like that, man. They think like, oh man, I'm giving up 20% or 15% or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, if you get your own authority and you have to do all this other work, 15% really isn't that much. If I look at these P&Ls and 15% of a truck is $200 a week or $250, or I mean, sometimes it can be $300 to $500 a week if you guys really hit big weeks. But for the most part, I mean, that's not that much money to give up for the liability that you're spreading out, for the paperwork, for the team to have that buffer. You've had issues with brokers or a load or whatever, and it helps for me or my wife or somebody to be there and be in the middle of that stress to kind of say, hey, fighting with the broker between you, who's the asshole, who's, whatever, right? And kind of alleviate that situation. To me, 15-20% is not that much money to give up to deal with something like that. You know what I mean? And to have that team behind you that has the knowledge for knowing you need permits in New Mexico and Oregon, or how to get wide loads, how to expand freight, how to do this, how to do that. So I'm glad you spoke on a couple of those points. But yeah, man, and getting into the even just hot shot, there's a ton of room in the market. There's a ton of people, and now that you've been dispatching for quite some time, I did it for years, and by the time I did it for a certain period of time, I don't do it anymore. Now we have dispatchers, but when I was doing it, I almost knew a lot of those people by name. Their first name, I had their cell number. So that now that you've been doing it for a long period of time, you can kind of see that taking effect, right? That calling them direct and having that relationship is going to benefit you more money on the next load, as well as you're going to get freight that never even hits the load boards. You know what I mean, right? I mean, they call you and say, hey, man, or you call them, hey, what have you got over here? That load never even hit the load board, and you're getting a better rate anyway,
Exactly. And we built the report already. Moneypenny, you've already done X amount of loads. Perfect. I don't have to post it. Here you go. Good to go. Exactly. But not even that. Another thing, too, is, like, I'm in Florida. I got a quote for commercial insurance, $27,000 with $10,000 down.
For one truck. Yeah, and that's crazy. Yeah, for one truck. So if you extrapolate that over 5, 10 trucks, you can't grow a business that way. You know what I mean? You just can't.
Exactly. And so my little 20% that I give to you for the full year is equal to my down payment just to even start with my own authority. And that's not including all the time, the paperwork.
Right. When you start an authority, you're always, for the first 3 years, they think of it as a new business. It's considered a new opportunity, right? It's not a ventured business, right? So for 3 years, the insurance is going to beat you up. But we've made it through that point, and it's still sometimes I get scared, like, hey, when we re-up next year, is it going to be higher or whatever? Because that's my biggest focus, honestly, is how do I keep that insurance low enough for a 50 truck fleet that we can have, less loss run claims, less claims on the insurance for cargo and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So those things really matter, man. But anyway, man, I just wanted to get on here to do a quick little video. I appreciate you taking my call and taking a second, letting me reach out to you so we can just chit chat about it, and we'll do more obviously in the future. But I'm just trying to get as many of them as I can for everybody that works here or works with us as a team to, say, hey, this is the place to be. It's going to help you. If you need any more with me, or you want to talk to the drivers and do the same thing and post it on any of the Moneypenny platforms, or start your own platform for recruiting, I'd be more than happy to help with that or assist with it, But that's the thing, man. It's just trying to get more people to come on and make good decisions. Because there's a lot of good companies out there, and I'm all for everybody jumping on with a good company. But there's also a lot of bad ones too. Just like you came out of a bad situation. I think I've helped a lot of people come out of bad situations. Some of the other people I'm going to talk to that are on the team and have been with the team, even the guy that's been with me the longest here, has been a couple years now. He came out of, the guy still owes him like $6,000-$7,000. Never paid him, So that happens every day, man, Yeah,
and it's just, there's no need for it. When there's legit companies like Moneypenny, it's so much easier when everything is just on point. There's no guessing, right on time. That's the way to do it. And the 20%, it's well worth it with the dispatching, the paperwork, the back office, the IPTA, everything. It's literally a one-stop shop for everything. And
I mean, if I would have known going into it, honestly, I probably would have signed on with somebody versus starting my own thing right off the bat, because, man, it cost me a lot of money to go through the school of hard knocks. A lot of money, man. I almost didn't make it a few times, things I didn't know, just pure, not necessarily, purposely doing things wrong, but negligence, just not knowing, DOT, audits, insurance, where to go, what not to do, the type of trucks and equipment to buy, and the type of, loads to carry and take, and lanes to run and not run, and stuff like that. Those are the things that it takes a long time to learn them. But my way of thinking now is, and we speak with Shaggy, good friend of mine. I think you know him. Shaggy's Consulting and Training. He's always like, get your own authority, get your own authority, get your own authority. My opinion is, don't get your own authority right off. Learn on somebody else's dime, kind of almost like you're doing or whatever. And then if you have the ambition to want to start your own thing, you've already learned all the ways, not to do it. So it's not you're not paying for that education the long way, basically. And that's just my opinion. If you go get your own authority and then you to New Mexico and get tagged there, and then Oregon, and you're stuck in Montana and can't get a load or whatever, you know what I mean? Then learning those things like I had to, it was expensive. I could have went to one of Shaggy's classes, paid $1,000 or whatever, and learned a whole hell of a lot. And I didn't even meet that guy till I'd been doing it for 2 years, or a year and a half or whatever. So, and reaching out to people like him or myself, or signing on with a company like this, it doesn't have to be Moneypenny, but signing on with a company like this that actually is legit and pays you and tells you what not to do and helps you out is just going to save you in the long run and set you up for success. Because I had trucks blow up, trucks go down, insurance payments that were tough, claims that I had to pay or I was going to lose my insurance, and not even anything I didn't do the claim, right? It was either a driver I had or just an accident, or whatever. But those things almost put me out of business. Whereas if I would have leased on with somebody, I would have pushed all of that to them, and that liability, that aggravation, that all of that to them, maybe not necessarily like breakdowns and stuff, but I would have at least maybe had somebody there to help me, and I wouldn't have had the struggle. So I probably would have been further along than I am now as a company if I would have done that, So you made the right decision, and, knowing, hey, I don't know this, and I need to get with somebody that does. So you met people like Shaggy, who I think actually referred you to me, right? And, so this relationship worked out because of a good friend of mine there, and he sends a lot of, I still have, I think, 4 or 5 guys with us that have been with us for well over a year that came from him. And so learning from him and him putting you with the right people, those little relationships make a huge difference, man.
Yeah, and just your experience and your problems gave you the knowledge to make us prosper and avoid those problems.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. You know everything, even with my trailer disc, with no matter what I called you, you know the answer. It's going to be this. You got to do this. I already know. That experience is just, you can't put a price on it,
Yep.
Like, it would take me thousands of dollars and years to try to acquire all this and all the headaches, and you've already went through it. So now I'm under you and I'm prospering. I'm making money.
Yeah. That's the thing, making the easy money and not the hard money, man. Because the statistics of going out of business in this industry is crazy, man. It's like 86% in the first year, So that means basically 8.5 out of 10 drivers are going to go out of business as soon as they start this thing. It's a guarantee, So, coming in like you did, or even if you were telling other people, hey, before you go start your own thing, before you go crazy, and I'm not deterring against it, but just get that education first. Guys that have been on the road or drove for 20 years starting their own authority, or even 3 or 4 or 5 years, or been in there or leased on somebody starting their own authority, hell yeah, man, let's do it. I'll help you do it. You can build it. If you want to build a fleet, I'm down to help you do that too, man. And you too, man. But it's like you're pretty well talking about building a fleet within our fleet. And that's an opportunity I want to give to several other people as well. So we handle all the dirty work for you that you don't want to mess with, the paperwork and the compliance and all the other stuff. And even dispatching, if you get too busy, that opportunity is there, and you don't have to be so, all the liability be on you and all the headaches be on you, So.
Yep, it's just a way to make money without the full burden.
Yeah.
It's way better. I can't, with you and your company. I'm super proud. I'm getting my hat soon.
We'll get you some gear out, man. I gotta get you. I think I'm gonna start everybody that's coming on and everybody that's with us. I'm gonna send at least one shirt, one hat, and get kind of some gear out to everybody when we send out the logos to put on the truck and everything. That'll kind of be a little bit of a benefit to everybody. So when I do these calls and stuff, we can do that. And the same thing for you. If you sign guys on, you'll have some gear, send in some gear. You guys can do some Skype calls and stuff. I'll even get on them, whatever, and just try to help, recruit people and bring them to a good spot so they can benefit from it, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But hey, man, this has been good. I'm gonna sign off, man. I got a little thing I got to do here, but man, I appreciate you taking the call and taking the time. We'll do it again, and I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
No problem. See you later, bud.
All right.